It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. And I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier. And that's...
So I wake up this morning and I go on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I see Elon Musk posting about banning Netflix. I'm like, what do you mean banning Netflix? What is going on, right? And so I see this coming across my timeline, and he's making multiple different posts, and he's having these reposts of screenshots of people that's basically saying they canceling Netflix because of this transgender show, right? And as I deep dove into it a little bit more, because I know that Netflix and most other platforms, including Amazon Prime and so on and so forth, they're really indiscriminate. You know what I'm saying? So they usually post or anything that they can in order to entertain the people because they have multiple different audiences and they don't necessarily have an agenda outside of adding value back to the shareholders. But as I deep dove a little bit more and I started reading and trying to figure out what's going on, I find out that it's more than just that. So the person that wrote that show that you just seen, as Elon Musk has his message for his social media followers on Wednesday morning, talking about cancel Netflix for the health of your kids. The Tesla CEO who made the remarks in response to an animated Netflix show featuring a teenage protagonist who was trans indicated earlier on Tuesday that he did cancel his subscription to the streaming service. The latest example of him wading into the culture wars, urging his 226 million followers to take action against the company in which he disagrees. The Netflix stock was down Wednesday at around 2%. And he started saying that Netflix was basically a liberal company. But if you deep dive a little bit more, as I was looking at multiple different articles and I looked at multiple different videos and I was trying to figure out what was going on, you realize that there's also shared screenshots that appeared to show Steele criticizing Charlie Kirk. And basically, Steele, right, is Hamish Steele is the person that wrote that series, while at the same time, he was very, very critical of Charlie Kirk. So now there is this movement that is happening across the board of people that no longer want to see Netflix support this person. And in order for them to be able to do that, they need for this person or for people to ban against this person and cancel Netflix, and they want to remove him from the show. Now, I got a couple different perspectives about this before we get into the money aspect of it, right? My first perspective is this. It would be very hypocritical of me, very, very hypocritical of me to say to cancel your Netflix subscription because you do not agree with what this person is saying. And let me tell you why. Number one, I absolutely positively think it is horrible, horrible for an animated series to be promoting transgenderism on cartoons on Netflix, especially if it's being targeted for kids. I don't think that Netflix would do it. I don't think that anything like that, right? And my moral compass says no. You know what I'm saying? Never support such a thing, never rock out with such a thing. People should not be pushing this to their kids, and so on and so forth. I also do not agree with the fact that Netflix is paying and platforming a person that is promoting this type of foolishness on Netflix. It never even would have came into my algorithm. The person on the animated series clearly is a liberal with the blue hair and the earrings and fat back and all of this other type of stuff. So we see what has been being pushed in the media to children and so on and so forth. So from that perspective, on a moral standpoint, I disagree. However, the other side of this conversation is that I don't believe that most people are objective enough to have an opinion of their own, and everything that they say is being shaped by what's happening in popular culture, which makes it dangerous, right? And the danger is you can't say, because I just seen Vivek Ramaswamy and several other conservative and Republican people that were saying, yo, we need to make sure that YouTube and all of these platforms are not censoring people that we don't agree with, right? All of these extreme right people. We know that the Biden administration, for example, have been censoring people. We know Trump was censored. YouTube recently had to pay out, I think, like $24.5 million to the Trump administration, for the things that happened during the Biden administration. But you can't do both. You can't say don't censor while at the same time we need to cancel this person until they cancel, or cancel this company until they cancel this other person, because we don't necessarily agree with their perspective or their stance and what's happening. And so it's a slippery slope. It's a very delicate balance that we have and that we have to witness. And so let's get into the money aspect of it.
Welcome back to Fast Money. Netflix shares falling over 2% today after Elon Musk urged his followers on X to cancel their subscriptions. Musk taking issue with the presence of a transgender character on one of the streaming platform shows. He posted, "Cancel Netflix for the health of your kids," this morning. Our Steve Kovac has more on all of this drama. Steve?
Oh, boy, here we go. Look at the power of an Elon Musk tweet, Mel, because the targeted rage of that tweet and of his fans and followers, they sent Netflix shares down 2% today after Musk spent part of his day tweeting about that Netflix show called Dead End Paranormal Park, which features a transgender character. It's an animated show, by the way. Now, I think you guys can see where this is going. Musk called on his followers to cancel Netflix and said he already did so himself. He also criticized Netflix's DEI policies and pointed to it as another reason to cancel the service. There's also a lot of Charlie Kirk talk being thrown in there as well. Now, look, Dead End Paranormal Park, it was actually canceled back in 2023 after a 20-episode run of the show in 2022, so about 3 years old. The show is still hosted on Netflix like any other canceled originally programming Netflix has made. Now, it appears that the X account called Libs of TikTok discovered the show and posted about it on X, which drew Musk's attention and anger. Now, Variety reporting today, the creator of the show said he's been receiving anti-Semitic and homophobic comments following Musk's post today. Variety also reported he had to take a social media break to all the comments and harassment he received from Musk and his fans. Now, Netflix did not respond to a request for comment, but here you go again, seeing the richest guy in the world, Mel, playing around in the culture wars.
Yep. Steve, thank you.
So basically what we are witnessing is, again, it's very difficult for me to have this conversation with people because I don't think that people are objective enough to be able to do so. I don't blame Elon Musk for saying what he's saying for a couple different reasons. The first reason being that he may not necessarily care for what it is that's being posted, and he don't necessarily care for the person that created it. The other side of that argument is that Netflix made an investment and they want to maximize off of that investment for whatever it is, even though there's no more seasons or a show run that comes along with it. They created the show, they want to make the investment, and so they want to run up the bag as much as possible and get the return on that investment, especially if they never made no money off of it. Another part of it is that I understand Elon Musk's perspective because they did it to him. And so what's good for the goose is good for you too. And so you can't have this movement where people were trying to cancel Teslas and say that they don't rock with Elon Musk, and they were protesting in front of his dealership, and then not expect for him to return fire when he sees fit, according to whatever it is that he feels. So if he wants to advocate for that, then it is what it is. But my point is that I don't think that most people are objective enough to be able to think for themselves, especially that follow mass people like that. And then B, if we are talking about censorship, right, and the fact that different platforms are putting different people, or we don't want certain people removed from certain platforms, then you got to keep that consistent across the board. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I'm going to cover this on the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.